Welcome to another episode of the Oregon Minute. This week we're delighted to be welcoming the newest leader here in our community, Tanner Brereton. Tanner has been just recently named as the Executive Director of the Oregon Chamber of Commerce. Tanner, welcome to the Oregon Minute.
Well, thank you. It's very good to be here.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, where you've come from, what's some of your background?
Sure. So my name is Tanner. I'm originally from Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, up in the panhandle of Idaho. It's very beautiful, right on the lake. Do recommend going. I originally went to school for history at the University of Idaho. I had to work my way through school, so I have background in a lot of professions and a lot of industries. And then eventually went in for my master's degree at the University of Oregon, no relation, to get my degree in the community and regional planning.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about that master's degree and how you see that relating to your new role here in the chamber.
Yeah, of course. So my degree focus was on economic development and community engagement and how they intersect. Mm-hmm. So how to, as a public entity, how to engage the private sector to ensure that not only are their voices heard and that everyone is included, but also how to move forward collaboratively to a better future, both economically and communally.
Sure.
And that also goes in reverse. So
seems like there'd be a lot of relevance there. It would be a really
definitely
powerful thing. Mm-hmm. So why Oregon? How did you wind up here in the beautiful Oregon community?
So my partner is going for her PhD in history at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Go Badgers! And so that's how we ended up in Wisconsin. I saw this position posted after Judy was retiring, of course, and they were looking to find a new director. I reached out to them and talked to them and kind of about my background, and it just seemed like a very good fit. And at least they thought so. And here I am. So,
excellent. So, you've been on the job about a month now? Is that
sure?
Is
Yeah,
that right?
About 3.5 weeks. So.
How are you finding things as you're trying to settle in here a little bit?
Well, I have some pretty big shoes to fill. Everyone I've talked to, businesses and community members, just thought the world of Judy, and I've met her too, and I think the world of her too. She's been very, very helpful. So that part has been a bit of an adjustment. The chamber board definitely wants to kind of pull things in a new direction, and I have luckily a good background for that. Mm-hmm. And one thing that really has stricken me about the Oregon community is just like the level of care that people put into their town, which is something I've really never seen before.
Really? That's huge. That is something we've heard from others who've come to the community. There's a lot of engagement in this community. Talk about a little bit on this new direction that the chamber's thinking about. That sounds interesting.
Yeah. So the chamber does a lot of things, and one of those new directions is trying to finalize what those things are. So we have our hands in things like the economic development, like we had a direct hand into the new Culvers coming in. Mm-hmm. We also do things like community engagement and community events like Summerfest, which is, I guess, kind of both of those things.
So we'll still have Summerfest.
Yeah, oh, definitely. Speaking of, actually, so we actually had a very lengthy board meeting about Summerfest today because COVID has definitely changed a lot of things. And one of those things in particular was Summerfest. So we're actually going to be in the next few weeks reaching out to the community and business members to see what they like about Summerfest, what they don't like, and some of their ideas on how to make it better next year. Because this year's was maybe not as fluid as previous ones have been.
The weather fought you this year too. We were down there and we were struggling with the rain and everything else, trying to get all the events in and
there was a lot of factors.
So did we finish out as far as the new direction as far as
so a lot of that is we're trying to kind of reword things and trying to recenter ourselves on what we want to do as a chamber. Obviously, the primary goal of a chamber of commerce is to ensure that businesses have a voice in local, in what's going on locally, as well as basically a way to help each other through situations, like through that, like helping businesses stay in business, helping them find new employment, or etc. Yeah.
So could you give us some perspective on your new role and the things you'll be doing in it?
Last week we had a great chamber member meeting with the Oregon School District. We've already had a ribbon cutting for the new Lakestone properties, the first affordable housing here in Oregon, which is fantastic. I've been basically doing a lot of prepping for new events and bringing back old ones, like the Fall Business Expo, which we hope to resurrect from COVID death in early October, which we can talk a little bit more about if you have time. So.
You mentioned the Business Expo. Tell us a little bit more about that. What's your planning on it? Do you have a location worked out?
Yeah, of course. So basically what we used to do, the Business Expo was a way for like smaller members and people of the community who maybe didn't have like brick and mortar spaces to show their business and what they do and try to garner support that way. Well, I mean, that's what we're trying to bring back, but we're also trying to expand it to make a little bit more community centric. So we're planning on putting parts of it outside. We are hoping to put some amenities there so that people want to show up, get some food, see these great businesses that are in our area.
And that's in October then?
Yes, it'll be, stay tuned, but it should be in early October.
Okay, all right. Any thoughts on where you might be holding that event? Or
we have narrowed it down to 3 places, and we are just trying to finalize it, so I don't want to put pressure on those people.
Excellent. What can we expect to see here in the near term?
We are seeing a lot of growth in this village. So one thing that we're doing is maybe more on the development side is working with the village here on how to address that, how to make businesses feel welcome, how to adjust to a changing economy and to things like inflation. So that's also been a big part of it as well.
Okay. I would be remiss because you mentioned Culver's. We always have to talk about Culver's.
I always have to talk about Culver's.
What's your take on what's going on there as far as time and so forth? As far as what the timing of it is and when do you see them coming?
I don't know if I have a specific date I can share, but it's going that we're all crossing our fingers for September.
Okay.
So, not too far from now.
Start to see some construction and things
like that.
Yeah,
when it happens, we'll have a really fantastic groundbreaking ceremony to which, of course, everyone is invited.
Going to have to move a lot of toy trucks and
That's probably true.
Has anybody thought about what's going to happen to all those toys? I don't know.
They did, actually. I think they're donating them.
Ah, excellent. Well, so if anybody wants to add them, they can know that's a donation. That's a good idea. So Tanner, did the chamber board give you any new long-term goals or direction?
So I would say for the long term, I think the most important thing to consider, and I'll probably stress this more as time goes on, is that like Oregon has like a very vibrant sense of community, and it's like that, having that for being a bedroom community next to a much larger city and still have that vibrant community is truly special. So I guess the main goal is to make sure that sticks around. I mean, we don't want to become just another commuter town.
Sure.
So I think that would be the ultimate long term there. But also growth is happening in Dane County whether we want to or not. So we also have to address that as well.
Sure.
So right now the main mission of the chamber, which is currently being revised, is to like further business and economic development interests in the Oregon community that contribute to Oregon's quality of life.
Sure.
Yeah.
So you mentioned you're stepping into some pretty big shoes. I guess any big obstacles or barriers or things that you feel you're going to really have to spend some time on the next few months?
So I have to meet everyone, and there's a lot of people to meet. Aside from that, I mean, because of the last few years and what's currently going on in the world, not all businesses are doing particularly well right now. So although we're seeing great new development in the village, it also having problems with other businesses there too.
Sure.
So a lot of the major obstacles is, well, we're not sure what's going to happen in the world. We have to adjust to something that's ever changing by the day. But that's something that chambers of commerce have always had to deal with.
That's true.
Like more direct obstacles are probably going to be what every nonprofit in the country is feeling right now is how do we fund these?
Right. That wraps up my questions that I had prepared. Is there any long message you'd like to leave our listeners with?
Yeah, definitely. So again, I'd say that one thing that it makes Oregon truly remarkable is this sense of community that we have. And one thing that the only way to maintain that is by working together. So I would say my leaving message is collaboration. It's to work with the village and your local businesses and your local community organizations and help keep this village and this township and everything, keep your efforts focused on local and keep that sense of community that makes this place truly unique.
Tanner, I appreciate your time you've taken today. It's been great talking with you. We look forward to working with you in the coming months and really wish you the best of luck here in the Oregon Chamber of Commerce.
Oh, definitely. And I'm glad to have OCA Media to help me every step of the way. So
looking forward to it. That wraps up another episode of the Oregon Minute. We're always looking for input from the community on topics and information. If you have ideas, please contact Paul at ocamedia.com. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you again soon. You're watching OCA Media, your Oregon Community Access Station.